This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 22. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash, double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, it's Brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and just want to go into this lesson here real quick. All right, through the Spirit, Lord willing, to be edifying. All right, and this is an article that I have up here, which is an article that the elder Zion from our camp actually had gone into. All right, we had a lesson that he had gone into. All right, and as I was reading through it, as we went through it, and then later on reading through it a little bit, all right, I just thought I'd share it, with the church, because this is all biblical prophecy. All right, it's a little different sometimes when you hear it from the perspective of the people who are not speaking from the biblical point of view. All right, it gives it more of a realistic look, in the sense that they're able to give you terms, they're able to put you, all right, in the scenario better. They're able to speak with terms that brings the prophecies to life. All right, because we bring out the prophecies, we tell you exactly what's going on, but then it brings it all home when you're able to go into different articles and people like they got these banking experts that talk about the MOTB coming out. Now they're not going to say, oh, it's the mark of the beast. All right, but they're going to say this is the radio frequency, blah blah, and this is what it's going to do. This is what it's going to do. This is the purpose it's going to serve. Well, we're going to say exactly that's biblical prophecy. That's exactly what the Lord said will happen in the last days. That they're going to M-chip the whole population, or wish to M-chip the whole population, right? And by doing that, they'll fulfill biblical prophecy. Okay, that is that MOTB. What John saw is what we're living through right now. So they're not going to say, oh, John the Revelator said this, and that. They don't even know. Most of them don't even care. You see, but they bring it out because that's their sector. That's where they come in. You see, we are the prophets of the Lord, meaning that we're in tune with the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We're able to see what's going on in the world and do what? Measure the times diligently, all right, in itself by using the scriptures. Okay, so I'm going to go right into this. All right, it says trucking. All right, it says when trucks stop, America stops. Okay, commercial truck traffic is vital to our nation's economic prosperity and plays a significant role in mitigating adverse economic effects during a national or regional emergency. Okay, our economy depends on trucks to deliver 10 billion tons of virtually every commodity consumed. Over 80% of all freight transported annually in the U.S. In the U.S. alone, this accounts for $700.4 billion worth of goods transported by truck. Trucks hauled 65.6% of the shipment of value into Canada and 67% of the shipment of value into Mexico. So that's well over 50. Now, if you have any population that has 60% of that population going through some type of crisis because of some type of infrastructure damage, all right, that's damn near 2/3 of the population. That's pretty much 2/3 of the population. That's the majority. Okay, that's good enough to bring down the system. Why do you think they were pushing so hard for 70 to 75% of the population to get this jump shot? Because that's the majority. Their goal is to minimize opposition. Okay, so if you're able to control the population through propaganda, through fear tactics, through coercion tactics, okay, through laws, so many different things. These are all part of coercion tactics and you know, what's the other term? I forgot the other term. But these are all tactics that these devils use, all right, in order to get the people to do what they want. Okay, it's the whole tried and true tactic of problem, reaction, solution. All this stuff we're about to read is problem, reaction, solution. Okay, because with every problem there's a reaction. Every problem has a reaction. That's why you get the reaction, because there's a problem. But then you have to always pay attention. Going back to what qui bono. Okay, qui bono means what? Who stands to benefit? Okay, or who benefits? All right. So you have to look at who's coming with the solution to the problem. That's how you know who's bringing the problems. Okay. Now we talk about Jacob's trouble. All right. Let me get that real quick. Okay. We understand that ultimately all these things that's going on around the world is all end time biblical prophecies. The Lord said he's going to cause these things to happen before he takes this place out. Okay. So we're seeing these things. So ultimately, Yahweh is in charge of all these things. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. But then he used different characters. Like bringing this truth to this world, he didn't just physically come down here and do that. Okay? In our lifetime, right now, going back to his 60s, the Lord did not come down physically to do that. No, he used his men. He brought us back. Okay? He brought us all back. I wasn't born in the 60s. I was born in the mid 90s. Okay? Most of us young brothers, we were not born in the 60s and in the 70s. All right? But yet we're doing the will of the Heavenly Father. Something that started prior to us being born. You see? So like the scripture says what? That we have entered into their labors. You have men who are here before us who are doing what we're doing now. All right? Paving the way. Okay? But anyway, let's get this real quick. Okay, and this is the main event. Okay, this is what's coming to Babylon the Great. And this is why the Lord sent us here. That's why you have so many different prophets out here in Babylon the Great, because this is the land of the destruction that's been long prophesied. Okay, the end of this kingdom and the beginning of the ushering in of the kingdom of Israel, which is the kingdom of Yahushua. Okay, that is a grand thing. That is the biggest news on earth. That is the biggest time in history. Okay. The grand salvation of the children of Israel, starting with the elect and the setting up of the kingdom of Israel, man. Wow. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." And who's that Jacob that's talking about here? The 12 tribes of Israel. Predominantly known today as the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. That's just a way to identify who we are. But it goes way deeper than that. Are we saying that, only so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are the Israelites and are the tribe, the children of Israel? No. Okay. And the elder the elder Malcolm, okay, he actually went into that earlier today. Okay. He showed a clip of these Israelite foreigners. Okay. They look like these other nations. They look like these heathens, but they're straight Jake. I mean, the first clip was a so-called Moabite. A so-called Chinese lady, which they'll be known as, that nation will be known as the Moabites, but she's an Israelite that looks like a Moabite. You see? And you could tell from her spirit, the way she would say, I said, damn, like if you just painted her skin dark and she had those eyes, you straight up be like, damn, she raps just like Nicki Minaj or whatever, you know? But the point here is what? That the Lord is going to save the elect of his nation. From what? From the coming destruction. That is what it means to be saved. You got these so-called Christians talking about, I'm saved by the blood of Christ. And they don't even understand what they're talking about. Saved from what? By the blood of Christ. When have you ever seen blood saving anyone? These people just say stuff, man. It doesn't make sense. Okay? That's why they're going to end up taking the MOTV and they're going to be destroyed. That makes sense. Okay, it says, it becomes apparent, going back to the article, it becomes apparent that any disruption in truck traffic will lead to rapid economic instability. And this is mostly going to affect who? Jake. You know why? Because Jake is the biggest consumers. Okay? When you don't produce and all you do is consume, when the production line stops, you are greatly affected. And it's not like, oh, well, then why don't we all come together? No. You ain't going to come together to create shit. because there's nothing anyone can do to stop the prophecies. You can only get ready for the prophecies. And now, hey, we at the point where you're not even gonna have that much time. By year's end into next year, so-called, they're going clamp down. Now you're starting to hear them talk about MP. Yesterday I saw that they said the WHO is going to change the name from monkeypox to mpox, just because it was a little derogatory to say monkeypox. You know, they said that's going to be part of the year's the transition for a year. So they coming right back with this endemic bullshit. Get ready to be put back in mask and all this weird. They about to do this shit again. Okay. So this shit is really about to, hit the fan. With economic problems. And lately, all you see is everybody just fighting. That's the energy out there. The spirit of war. Okay. Let's continue. It says, the unimpeded flow of trucks is critical to the safety and well-being of all Americans. However, it is entirely possible that well-intended public officials may instinctively halt or severely restrict truck traffic in response to an incident of national or regional significance. Okay? And that's actually happening now without any national or regional significance. They just told them to stop moving. All right, those are a brother, a Jake. He is a brother, because he's an Israelite. Okay. But he's not a brother in the faith. Okay. And he was showing a video, because he's a truck driver, and he was showing a video of how all the trucks are just lined up by it looked like a toll station or something, and they were just standing there. He said they just got word that they can't move. They just had to stand there. And he's like, these trucks, he's showing the video he said, these trucks here that you see lined up here are trucks that are supposed to be heading into these supermarkets, into these grocery stores. Okay. Into your Walmarts, into your Kmarts. Well, they don't have Kmarts nowadays no more. All right. But your Walmarts, your Costco's, your BJ's, okay, your Sam's Clubs. All right. So your future concentration camps, I should say, right? These places that has food, or normally you go to for food and groceries and all these different things that people normally consume, they're not being replenished. And we know how the economy always is. After the fourth quarter, what happens? The whole system is just dead. That's why it's called the dead of winter. During the later parts of December, after holiday season, right through January. Oh my goodness. And for those who worked in retail, or you work anywhere in a mostly densely populated area, like Manhattan or whatever, during that time of the year, the first month of the year, man, so-called first month, it be dead. And that's when things are so-called normal. So we're putting into consideration, we're taking into consideration things not being normal. Okay, back in 2020, we had the whole the cargo shipments that were stuck on sea, both on the East Coast and the West Coast. They wouldn't let them come in because of what? CV. Right? Earlier that year, you had the whole Panama Canal situation. Okay, and they said that affected billions of dollars, billions, and that was happening daily. And I think that thing went on for like over a week or so, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So they said that damage that caused, just those 7 days or so, it caused damage that was going to be felt for years to come. Okay, and that was hard to imagine, but after you go into it and you really analyze the numbers and how it affects with every percentage and how much it actually affects, they say, when they say, oh, one rose 1%, you think, oh, 1%, okay, but then when you go into it, you're like, oh shit, this is the effect of 1%. You know what I'm saying? Like, you paying gas. Here it is. You paying what? From $2 all right, two something and change. Okay. And then within a year, a few months, that shit went up to 4 something. You're like, oh shit, almost $5. And that was, they would say, there's inflation by 8%, 6%, 3%. You like, yo. So when these niggas are talking about, oh, this happened and in one day is going to affect our economy by 30, 40%, you're like, oh, wait a minute. You see, and this is all global economy. Remember, America is is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, uh, uh, um, um, point in commerce in the world. Okay, that's why everyone uses the American dollar. So things happen to the world when one country gets affected by something, because everything is all interconnected. As we're reading through here, everything is interconnected. Okay, so if America goes through something, all right, it's felt by the world. Now, what if the world goes through something, including America? What happens? Everyone is going to go down to their knees, bro. Everyone is being knocked down. Okay, and that's biblical prophecy. All right, so let's read. It says, history has shown us the consequences that result from a major disruption in truck travel. Immediately following the 9/11 terrorist attacks, significant truck delays at the Canadian border crossing shut down several auto manufacturing plants in Michigan because just-in-time parts were not delivered. Okay, the economic cost to these companies was enormous. Right, it was enormous. Following Hurricane Katrina, trucks loaded with emergency goods were rerouted, creating lengthy delays in delivering urgently needed supplies to the stricken areas. Okay, and of course, the stricken areas are where who's living at? Jake. Okay, Jake is always living in the densely populated areas, like the inner cities, like the scripture says, and the city shall be troubled. Why? Because it's Jacob's trouble. Who the hell is coming to trouble Jake? These damn devils, man. All right. You don't see the whole technology they got out there in Cali. They're saying that they're gonna be using soon by law. They'll be using robots to kill people. Do you know what that means? When you hear shit like that, you should just remember right away the guillotines. That's what it should go down to, because that's where it's gonna end up at. When you follow the footsteps of prophecy, you can never go wrong. When you understand the inner workings of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is the spirit of prophecy, current events, things that happen, world events do not shock you because you understand what they mean. Okay? So ultimately, all these so-called killer robots and all this shit is to prepare people for what? Guillotines, because that's going to be the norm, because it's biblical prophecy. All right? These devils are setting up to push the most satanic agenda on the people, all right, the inhabitants of this world. Okay, Revelation 12:12. So these devils are not going to be given any leeway for any type of opposition. How do I know this? I was watching a video of what's going on out there in China right now, and you have people trying to protest, this whole lockdowns and all this extra shit that's going on. And hey, that whole system, you've heard them saying, this guy Klaus Schwab said it. He said the China model is a very attractive model for the whole entire world. And guess what? That whole ass nigga works with the WHO. Okay, and the WHO basically, these nations just had an agreement. Okay, that they're gonna rule with the beast for an hour. Okay, for a short time. Okay, let's get that. Okay, let's get that. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 17. It says, actually, let's start off at 16. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So the 10 horns is talking about predominantly the EU. All right, because these 10 horns ultimately merged and became, all right, what you see as the nations of the EU. Okay, the European Union. All right, and ultimately you have nations who are part of the European Union and mostly part of NATO as well, which is part of the beast. Okay, NATO and the EU is the beast. All right, and you see how they're working together to manifest this beast system that we've been talking about. Okay, the countries that you see, the G20 and all these different countries that are coming together, all right, to bring about this so-called New World Order, is all nations mostly from the EU and NATO. Okay, and of course you have the Catholic Church being trying to merge itself in there. That's biblical prophecy, that they will be a part of those that deceive the world into worshiping this beast. Okay, meaning what? Giving their energy, all right, being partakers of this system. Okay. And it starts with the whole Vanessa passport and all this BS. Okay, that's the ingratiating of the beast system. Okay, verse 17, it says, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will. All right, what is the will of the Heavenly Father? To bring about this beast system, so that what? He could set the system up so his son could come down and destroy it and get his name to be glorified. Okay, it says, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Okay, so there you go. These nations are all coming together, all right, at the behest of the World Economic Forum. Okay, and they're all coming together, merging together. Okay, it's crazy because you have this private thing, which is the World Economic Forum. That's a private thing. Okay, but they're able to have so much influential power over governments, world governments. I mean, think about that for a second. All right, they're bringing everything together, and in order for them to do that, the people have to be on board. Okay, and for them to get you to be on board, they have to destroy your peace. Revelation, the 6th chapter, tells you that. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's get that. Okay, because there's a player in everything that you see going on. Ain't no, hey, it's just by accident. No. The players are the ones that you see on TV and the ones you don't see on TV. The ones who come out and tell you the policy in which the world is going to what? Live by. Whether you like it or not, whether it's necessary or not, it doesn't matter. Why? Because it's biblical prophecy. Okay, there's a book of Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. Okay, and the horse represents what? Power. Okay, and red is who? Who on this earth is known as red? Going back to their name, Adawam, Edom. Okay, and who is the top family of the Edomites? The so-called Rothschilds. All right, but the top house, okay, of the nation of Edom is who? The Amalekites, the so-called J people. Okay, it says, and that's why now they're being brought to the forefront, because it's all biblical prophecy. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, tells us that the man of sin will be what? Will be revealed. Okay? It says, going back to Revelation 6 and 4, all right, it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay? So when the peace is taken out of the earth, what's going to happen? There's going to be what? Death. Okay? Because when you take peace, what do you bring? You bring chaos. All right? You bring a time of evil, and those things always result in death. Okay? It's just a spirit. It's just an energy that comes with it. When there's peace, there's not death. When there's chaos, there's death. There's bloodshed. Okay? So continuing, and that's why these robots are here. So let's keep going. Let's see. I'm going to jump a little bit so we can hit the points. All right. So we're going to hit the food industry. How is the food industry going to be affected? All right. With the whole trucking crisis, and not just the trucking. Let's not forget about the whole railroad so-called strike that they said they're going to go on. All right. They said if they do that within was it? They said the next day or some shit like that, you're going to see America just tank. America's just going to tank. And I've been telling coworkers, I say, hey, this is going to be your last holiday, so-called, that you're going to really enjoy yourself. Okay? And that's going to be hard to do. A lot of people now are like pocketing their money. They don't want to go spend whatever they got. Everybody's saving this and that. They about to take your savings. The IRS and all that, they about to start coming after people because they see that you're cutting corners. Why the hell do you think they gave the IRS all that power? All right, they hired over the summer. They hired all these people, they got them a whole unit. Why? Because they know that they about to tighten up the grip. And when they start tightening up the grip, people are going to start cutting corners. And when you start cutting corners, they don't want you to cut corners. They want to what? Bring you in. You ain't cutting no corners. We're closing everything down. So they're going to come after people. Okay? But let's read, it says the food industry. Every day, Americans purchase billions of dollars of groceries. Billions. Okay? Most of these goods are brought to market via daily truck deliveries. 1. Significant shortages will occur in as little as 3 days, especially for perishable items following a national emergency and a ban on truck traffic. Minor shortages will occur within 1 to 2 days. You hear that? So you have about, the average grocery store has about 3 days worth of stuff. All right. And that's with no replenishment and with people being ordinary, buying things regularly. Now, what about a time where there's panic and everyone is storming in there all at the same time, even those who don't need to go to the grocery store, because you're spending money when you go there. So you don't go there just because, oh, I just want to spend money. No, you need shit. That's why you go in there. Right? So now you're going to have people who don't need shit, but in the thought of, I'm not going to have shit, let me go grab whatever I can get. You see? What about that? So in a time of panic, all right, you're not going to have 3 days. You're going to have hours to get what you need to get. Okay? Things are going to happen just like that, man. Okay? And this holiday season, okay, the Spirit brought it back. This holiday season, this is the last good time, because after this, when it's dead, they ain't gonna be replenishing nothing. Okay, there's a lady who works at my job. She was passing by earlier today, and she said, "Can you believe I spent upwards of $300 on Thanksgiving dinner this year?" She said this is the most she's ever spent, and I looked at her like, "You spent $300 on Thanksgiving dinner?" One night dinner, $300. Damn, that's like $300 is worth a whole month of groceries. If you could stretch it, Jake, if you stretch it, $300, yo, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? $300 in one night over a damn pagan holiday, bro. Stupid. And I told her, I said, well, hey, and sometimes when I talk to these people in the world, I always try to say things that are of the truth, right? But in their terms, so I said, we speak, you got to use code, so I'm not going to just, hey, the scriptures tell you that in the last day. No. They look at you like, what? I told her, hey, I was reading something and it says that, Christmas, hey, they said that you might end up paying double or triple whatever you paid, Thanksgiving, and that's and she's like, what? I said, oh yeah. Now, have I read that anywhere? No. Have I seen that anywhere? No. But I was telling her that just to see her reaction. You see? And it shows you that a lot of these people don't even consider, like, oh man, I just spent $300 on Thanksgiving. Like, damn, that's kind of weird. What the fuck? Damn, the food, the turkey was mad expensive. The canned dish was not normally 50 cents. This shit was like $2. Oh shit. They're not putting these things together. They're not looking at it, for what it is. They just think it's just, just things that are happening, it's just everyday life. It's just a crisis, the Ukraine, Oh man. It says at convenience stores and other small retailers with less inventory, shortages will occur much sooner. There you go. Right? Because as consumer fear and panic will exacerbate shortages. There you go. I just said that. Right? The forecast of a winter storm quickly exhausts basic commodities at grocery stores and supermarkets. It takes retailers up to 3 days to recover from these runs on supplies. Oh my goodness. Yo, things are really gonna get bad. Really, really bad. Okay? News. It says news of a truck stoppage, whether on the local level, state, or regional level or nationwide, will spur hoarding and drastic increases in consumer purchases of essential goods. Shortages will materialize quickly and could lead to civil unrest. Okay? Look, we can expect to see all these things happening in the year 2023. No doubt. Okay? If they were able to put people through this over the past 2 years, what the hell do you think they're going to do in 2023? And they got this whole CBDC. They don't have time. People be thinking, oh, nah, I don't see. Look, they're running against time. In order for them to fulfill the prophecy, they need to move. They have to move. All right? And they've created the perfect storm. You see what's going on in China. They're watching. They know what the hell will happen here in America. They know that. So they know exactly how to get to the people. They'll man. Yo. And guess what? Americans are dumb. They're the dumbest of the dumb. So it's gonna be easier to get them. There's the only nation. China, they under whatever commies or whatever, but they're not as wild as over here. These niggas over here are just on some different shit. You got dudes that think they're women, trans, this and that. Yo, this place is gonna get torched, man. It says supplies of clean drinking water will run dry in 2 to 4 weeks. Okay? According to the American Water Works Association, Americans drink more than 1 billion glasses of tap water per day. For safety and security reasons, most water supply plants maintain a larger inventory of supplies than the typical business. Okay, and the elder was going into it, and it stuck with me because he said, a lot of these companies, what they do is they take tap water, all right, and then they go through the whole filtering process, and they label it spring water, and then they sell it to people. Okay. Some of these was it Bill Gates? Yeah, Gil Bates was talking about that. I think years ago he was talking about how he's going to change. No, was it him? There's another guy. I think the founder of Nestle. He was saying that they were going to take shit water, or they were going to make water out of shit. Let me say it like that. Okay, they were going to take feces, human remains, whatever, and they'll put it through this machine, and they'll break down, and then they'll heat it up, and then they'll get the steam, and then they'll filter the steam, and then they'll bottle it up, and then here you go, drink that. I'm like, whoa, listen, how we live on a planet that's mostly like 70 to 75% water, and you gonna tell me what you telling me? If that ain't the devil, then what else is? And now, so you already know. If they're gonna tell you that you gonna eat the bugs and all this shit, right? There'll be no more meat. So water, you gotta think of that. They have the technology, so you gotta think of that, right? It says for safety and so Slaki, going back to what the elder was saying, right? That they bottle all this shit up. You see, so you're not really drinking anything that's special, right? You're not drinking anything special, even if they tell you are. Okay, that's Esau for you. It says for safety and security reasons, most water supply plants maintain a larger inventory for supplies than the typical business. However, the amount of chemical storage varies significantly and is site specific. So even the water treatment processes that they normally would do wouldn't be able to work. All right, because the chemicals are not being brought over because the trucks are not running. Okay, this is according to the Chlorine Institute. Most water treatment facilities receive chlorine in cylinders, 150 pounds and 1 ton cylinders. Damn. It says that are delivered by motor carriers. On average, trucks deliver purification chemicals to water supply plants every 7 to 14 days. All right, so every 1 to 2 weeks. All right, bi-weekly. All right. So without these chemicals, water cannot be purified and made safe for drinking. So what does that mean? A lot more sick people. Okay, a lot more sick people. And guess what? You already get sick by drinking these bottled waters anyway. Okay, these chemicals that they put in the water is some of them is meant to kill you. I did a video on this a couple years ago. All right, going into, I believe it was Dasani. All right, that specific brand, they were using 3 chemicals. I mean, they were using a chemical that was part of the 3 chemicals that they put in to make the lethal injection. Okay, and it's supposed to stop your heart. Now why would you put that in water? Okay, I forgot I think it was like sodium bichloride or something, sodium chloride, some shit like that, sodium by something. Okay, and I'm like, damn. And I tried looking back at it a few months ago, and it was gone. They took that shit down. They took it down. But anyway, when you try to open up the page, it says error, page not found, some shit like that. They took them pages down. But anyway, so let's keep going. It says without truck deliveries of purification chemicals, water supply plants will run out of drinkable water in 14 to 28 days. Okay, so the food will be out within 3 days, all right, from the supermarkets. And water is not going to be purified within 14 to 28 days. So within 2 weeks to a month, that's it. That's it. After that is a wrap, right? Once the water supply is drained, water will be deemed safe. Water will be deemed safe for drinking only when boiled. Okay, and they're gonna outlaw that too, because they're already saying that it's illegal to catch rainwater, to store rainwater. Like Esau, bro, what the fuck? Yo. Anyway, lack of clean drinking water will lead to increased gastrointestinal and other illnesses, further taxing an already weakened healthcare system. Oh, then it leads right into the healthcare. Both healthcare providers and consumers rely on regular delivery of medications and healthcare supplies to hospitals, pharmacies, nursing homes, and other healthcare facilities. Trucks delivered nearly all these supplies. That's true. Okay, they put them all in boxes. All these Vanessas. How do you think they travel around? Okay. All right. How do you think they travel around? It says, Al Cook, okay, former president of the Materials Management Association and current member of the Medical Materials Coordinating Group, which is advising the U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources on emergency preparedness, describes over-the-road commercial transportation as life and death to being able to care for sick people. Okay, and there's going to be a lot of sick people in this country. It says, without truck transportation, patient care within the truck stoppage zone will be immediately jeopardized. All right. According to Cook, many hospitals have, and it's funny how his name is Cook. His name is Cook. According to Cook, many hospitals have moved to a just-in-time inventory system. In fact, some work from a low unit of measure system. This means that essential basic supplies such as syringes and catheters are not ordered until the supplies are depleted. These systems depend on trucks to deliver needed supplies within hours or of order placement. Internal redistribution of supplies in hospitals could forestall a crisis for a short time. However, in a matter of hours, hospitals would be unable to supply critical patient care. So what does that mean? That means you're going to need healing. Now, the men of the Lord, we already going to have that spiritual power. What makes you think? Let's get a quick precept. Let's see. Okay. There's a book of John chapter 14 verse 13. It says, and whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. Verse 14. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. Okay, so in the time, all right, in case somebody is in need of healing, we call upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you will be healed. Okay, we don't need we're waiting for the delivery to come in. We're still here. You laying over there, needing help. And then you go to the hospital, you run over there to Egypt for help. And then they sitting there like, we also need help. Our help ain't come in yet, so we can't help you. Remember, there was videos, man. There was videos during the pandemic. At first, when it started, there was a man that was he was on Vanessa, right? And he went in. He had there was an emergency, so he ran. They tried to take him to the hospital. They said, no, you can't come in here. I think he didn't want to wear a mask or some shit. All right, this was prior to the Vanessa, if I'm not mistaken. And they said, nah, you can't come in. All right, he can't come in. And the man laid out there, and his family was crying around him, trying to help him, trying to resuscitate him. Nah, They closed the door and they made that man laid out there and he died. Okay? And his children are crying, his wife, trying to help him, wake him up. No. He was out of there. Okay? Now you think that scenario happened to one of the elect? Hell no. You see? That's all part of the protection we're going to get in the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? It says if an incident of national significance produces mass injuries, truck transportation is the key to delivering urgently needed medical supplies necessary to save lives. It says hospitals and nursing homes will exhaust food supplies in as little as 24 hours. So it'll be a wrap for everyone who's going to be in the hospital homes and in the hospitals. Okay? It says pharmacy stocks of prescription drugs will be depleted quickly. Yep. It says damn. It says although pharmacies typically carry several weeks inventory of many drugs, seasonal pharmaceuticals such as antibiotics and flu shots during winter months have faster turnover rates. According to the National Association of Chain Drug Stores, most of the nation's 55,000 drugstores receive daily merchandise deliveries by truck. Damn, Esau, what a devil. Look what he's done to this world. Look what he's done to the people of this world. 55,000 drugstores? Why? Why so many? That's insane. And that the average person that you see walking around, they're on some type of medication, which is prescribed by their doctors. And then they end up going to these pharmacies to go pick these drugs up. That is why they move and think and act the way they do. It makes sense. Okay? And if you understand what I just said, you know. 55,000 drugstores? Yo, we need the Lord to come and get us up out of here, man. For real. And you go to the hospital, that's the worst place you want to be right now. You know what I'm saying? You go in there, they try to force a test on you. You know? You go in there saying, yo, I got a toothache. Yo, come in, let's take the CV test. Come here. Stick that shit up your nose without you even knowing it, man. Some crazy shit like that. You know? But yeah, man. Oh, man, it's crazy. It says hospitals and other diagnostic and treatment facilities will exhaust supplies of radiopharmaceuticals and oxygen. Ooh. Hey, man. And then it goes in. The trucks will also affect what? It would also affect. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's bring this back. Radiopharmaceutical supplies for cancer treatment and diagnostic services, which have an effective life of only a few hours, will become unusable. Okay, how many people in America have cancer right now? Let's look it up and see. How many people in America have cancer? Let's see what they say. It says estimated numbers of new cancer cases and deaths in 2022. In 2022, there will be an estimated 1.9 million new cancer cases diagnosed and 609,360 cancer deaths in the United States. 1.9 million new cases and 600,360 deaths from cancer. Okay? What percentage of the US population has cancer? It says prevalence of cancer ranges from approximately 5.5% of the population in the US down to around 0.4% in the countries shown in light yellow. And when you click on that, look at these. Look at this. Damn. Hold on a second. Oh Oh, now it doesn't want to show. Why is always Google always got some shit? Hold on. Doesn't show. All right. Well, at least I got what I was looking for, and that's what 1.9, almost 2 million people in 2022 alone, and that's new cases. 2 million. 2 million. So that's what, how many, 2 million people just like that in one day, or however long it's going to take. All right, this is going to be affected just alone, just because they have cancer, and their so-called treatment that they might be getting is not going to be able to work. It says hospital size and storage capacity determine the amount of oxygen a facility can maintain. However, in general, hospitals will exhaust oxygen supplies within 7 to 10 days. Okay? So, hey, within the first 2 weeks of this major collapse, you're going to see America will turn upside down. Just like that. Just like that. And that's if things were just to happen on its own, without people really bugging out or panicking and the government coming down to exacerbate the situation. You know? Transportation, it says service station fuel supplies will start to run out in just 1 to 2 days. According to the Service Station Dealers of America, and these are all, like I said, experts in their field. From the beginning of the video, when I was talking about when you read these things, it gives you more of a realistic perspective. Okay? It gives you more of a realistic perspective on what the prophecies say. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that are written in the scriptures, man. Okay? According to the Service Station Dealers of America, the nation's busiest fuel stations sell between 200,000 and 300,000 gallons per month. Okay? 250,000. Okay? It says these stations require multiple deliveries every day to meet this demand. An average service station requires a delivery every 2.4 days or 2.5 days. Okay? Based on the 200. Wow. The nation's busiest fuel stations sell between 200,000 and 300,000 gallons per month. That's quite a lot. 300,000 gallons? On average, how many times do you go to the gas station a week? To fill up your tank, probably once a week, right? And how many gallons normally you will fill up your tank? Normally you do about 13, 14 gallons for normal SUV. You know, if you're doing a sedan, probably less. You know, sometimes, no, actually, you know what? Sometimes nowadays with these cars, you're doing more. You know, maybe if not the same. You know, and then if you're driving a bigger car, you fill up more gallons. You know, but just take you know, you go to the same gas station, all right, 4 times a month to fill up your tank. You averaging right about, let's see, maybe you do, let's see, 13, let's say 14 gallons, right? 14 times 4 is 56 gallons. Okay. And these guys are saying that they pump in over, 300,000? So, divided by about 56 is what we said. Man, did I just multiply that? Let me try that again. 300,000. No, actually we did 14 times 4. We get 56. 300,000 minus 56. You got 299,944, okay, gallons left in just that month. And you just out the equation. And let's just say however many drivers are also going to be doing the same thing to that same gas station. So that why I'm saying that is because since there's less gas in the stations, there'll be higher prices and less gas when you go to the pump. So that means you're going to frequent there. And that means you're not the only person who's going there. A lot more people are going there. So you can see a gas station that's pumping 300,000 gallons per month to be doing 300,000 gallons per day. Like that drastic. You see? And what's going to happen? The fuel reserves are all going to be tanked the hell out. No pun intended. Okay? So we're looking at it from a realistic perspective, just to see like, damn, this is, and it's gonna affect different places differently. You see, maybe people in New York might not be affected the same way as people in Texas or in Chicago or LA. You see, because LA might be, not just fighting gas prices that's nationwide, but they got other things like crime rates are wild right now, or maybe natural disasters to help with the problems. So the Lord is really gonna hammer this land in so many different diverse ways, man. Okay. It says, based on these statistics, the busiest service stations could run out of fuel within hours of a truck stoppage. With hours, okay? With the remaining stations following within 1 to 2 days. Oh my God. Researchers predict that automobile travel will cease within 1 week if fuel deliveries are halted. You hear that? Within 1 week, the whole system will come tumbling down. Ooh. It says air, rail, and maritime transportation will be disrupted. That means what? Airplanes, all right, trains, and ships. Okay? And that is how most cargo is transported. Okay? Most cargo is transported, man. All right? It says a fuel shortage will create secondary effects. Without access to automobile travel, people will be unable to get to work, causing labor shortages and increased economic damage. Okay? Without cars, many people cannot access grocery stores, banks, doctors, and other daily needs. Public bus systems will cease to operate as well, preventing many disabled and elderly people from accessing these necessities. Without fuel, police, fire, rescue, and other public service vehicles will be paralyzed, further jeopardizing public safety. So now you're starting to see, okay, Second Esdras coming into play, right? Again, the prophecies don't lie. Okay, let's read. This is a book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, and verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein! For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." Why the hell do you think this will actually be able to happen? Because you're going to be living in a land of lawlessness, where it's every man for himself. Truly, every man for himself. That's the chaos that they're trying to bring. Okay? Now, if the devil is ruling, okay, how do you think the earth will be? What kind of vibration do you think the earth will be under? It's going to be a demonic, devilish vibration. And whenever you associate anything to demonic, devilish vibration, what do you normally think of? You think of black, you think of death, you think of violence, you think of sexual depravity, okay? You think of a godless people, the things that we see in America, that's what you see. So what do you think is going to happen after that? There's always what? A shakeup that happens, okay? Because of those sins, the Lord shakes things up, and he's going to shake things up by what? By the sword, ultimately, which is what? The missiles, all right? But prior to that, the sword is going to be what? Him letting loose Esau, okay? And he's going to do some killing, all right? And it's going to be for sport, okay? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able," for so many different reasons, as we're reading in the article, okay? "For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid," right? "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword." What does it mean to destroy someone's house with a sword? When somebody goes around shooting shit up, okay? When somebody goes around taking weapons, all right, and vandalizing, all right? And what they do after that? It says, "and spoil their goods." All right, spoil their goods. That means whatever you got, they taken. The spoils, right? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. We're reading about how the lack of bread will come into effect. Okay? We're living in those days of these prophecies being fulfilled, man. All right? The things that we were talking about for all these years, we're starting to see them come to pass. All right? Let's get another quick precept. Okay? And that's why a lot of these Christians are turning around and leaving these Christian churches, because they see that the reality of these prophecies are coming to them. They're living it, and they need answers. All right, so they come into the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord, and that starts from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. Period. That's it. There's a book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." And that is why the Lord set us up here. Okay? To explain, to break down these scriptures, these prophecies, these visions, and to make them plain. Okay? So that what? So he may run that readeth it. So you see, oh shit, damn, this is what's going on. Yo, let me repent. Let me turn, let me get right with the Lord. You see? Let me do what I need to do in order to gain salvation. And it starts with what? Being an Israelite. And then acknowledging, all right, that who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is the only way. Okay? That's it. Now, if you try to come in and try to do all this, why can't it be this? Why is his name this? Look, we're telling you this is what it is. And this is only for the elect. If you don't get it, you're not of the elect. Keep it moving. All right? Keep it moving. There's a book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3 continues. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Okay? And those visions are what you're starting to see now. And a lot of people are experiencing it. Okay? When you watch Southern Purple 1, I always talk about his channel. Okay? When you watch his channel, he always goes into that. Boots on the ground and all this stuff. People sending letters and mails and talking about how life is being hard and all this. I'm like, damn. So we're living in those times, man. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe, because a lot of stuff that's pertaining to prophecy, end time prophecies, is not being broadcasted like that. A lot of things that's going on pertaining to prophecy, if it wasn't for us, most people wouldn't even know. Sometimes I catch brothers' videos and I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even know that. Brothers got all these different gems, man. They subscribe to different pages and different, news outlets and stuff. Hey, look at the when you check out Apostle Tahar's BitChute. I mean, not BitChute. What's the other one? Odyssey page. Yo, man, I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't know. Like, there's a lot of gems up in here. Things that you don't normally see on YouTube. Them videos don't even have that many views, but them be the gems. You gotta catch those videos, man. Always check out them videos. Be like, yo, why is this so, like, what's up? Normally I click on a video to watch for edification. I don't really notice the view counts or the likes, none of that shit. I just pay attention more of like, all right, is a title here, boom, click, and you watch and you get edified. Oh shit, oh, then you share it. You learn something. That's the point. Right? That's the point. But ultimately, this is all to warn you. Okay? Don't just watch it for entertainment. Like, you just watching it chilling. Have your book out. Highlight these prophecies. Go into them. Study it seriously. You don't have much time. You got people that come on our comment boards, and the shit they say, it makes you wonder, like, where the hell did you come from? Like, you sound so, like, outdated. Like, where are you? Man, wake your ass up, bro. Jake need to wake up, man. All right? Things are getting real serious. You need to wake your ass up. It says, waste removal. Okay, the Environmental Protection Agency estimates that Americans generate more than 236 million tons of municipal or household waste annually. This does not take into account manufacturing, medical, or other types of commercial waste. Wow. Within days of a truck stoppage, Americans will be literally buried in garbage with serious health and environmental consequences. Oof. Yeah. It says, Uncollected and deteriorating waste products create rich breeding grounds for microorganisms, insects, and other vermin. Yeah, you're gonna have infestation, okay? Mice, okay, roaches. All right, they're gonna be laying all up in your car. They'll find a way to come into your homes, okay? Especially if you live in the city. Oh man, the city shall be truly troubled, okay? It says hazardous materials and medical waste will introduce toxins as well as infectious diseases into living environments. And yeah, you know, you're going to call the maintenance guy and they're going to give you the same answer they give everybody else. We've been waiting for supplies for the past month. We haven't gotten anything back. Hang tight. You go to Home Depot. Oh, I'm looking for this. Damn, it's sold out. Damn, like I've been trying to fight off so that's when you got to know how to use these herbs, what kind of stuff you could add to what in order to create a certain repellent. A lot of people don't know these things. You see? So that's one of the benefits of having the man of the Lord. You see? It says beyond the health risks, a lack of waste removal creates pollution hazards. All right. And that's why you had swine. Okay, you got Jake eating swine, and they're gonna have waste removal. They're gonna have all this waste, and ain't nobody gonna be removing them in front of their houses very soon. Meanwhile, you want to eat the swine. No, the swine is supposed to be doing their job that soon you're gonna wish somebody was doing. All right. It says the retail sector, and I'm gonna have to do a part 2 to this because this is another page. All right. As a matter of fact, let me stop off on the waste removal. Okay, because I don't wanna keep on running this thing too much. All right. Let me just finish off this waste removal. Okay. It says biological pathogens, hazardous chemicals, and even radioactive materials will be released into the soil, water, and atmosphere. And the sheer volume of uncollected waste could block water runoff and drainage, leading to pooling and flooding. Damn. So that's also going to breed mosquitoes, man. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of different diseases. Yo, it's about to get sick out here. Okay? It's about to get sick out here, man. All right. It's a book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse, I'll start off at verse 4. Okay? Oh, I see. Yeah. Verse 4. And this is all this is the most beautiful thing because we're living, all right, the days where Yahushua mentioned. He told us this. All right. Matthew chapter 24 verse 4 says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name saying, I am Hamashiach, or I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And that's what you're starting to see now. Okay, because this truth is going out there, a lot of spirits are getting roused up. Okay, this truth is getting put out there on Front Street, and a lot of spirits are getting roused up. So a lot of them are masquerading as ministers of light, of angels of light. You see, as angels of light, man, they're coming out saying, "Oh, the Bible is really talking about this." When they say this is really what it means. Shut up. Where did you come from, huh? Now all of a sudden you got mad people want to go into the Bible. Now that's the thing. Like, oh, we're gonna study the Bible now. Like, where you came from, bro? You gotta listen to the elders. You gotta listen to those who've been doing this before you were even born. Okay? There's a spiritual reason for that. There's a spiritual significance behind that. That only the elect are gonna see it. Again, that's how you know who's who. Okay? And verse 6, Matthew 24 and verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Why is the end not yet? Because one major prophecy hasn't came yet, which is the what? The mandatory implementation of the MOTB. Okay? The system is being set up, but soon no man might buy or sell save he that takes it. That's the mandatory. This is how it is. And if you're not doing it this way, you can't live, period. Okay? Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, here's a key, and pestilences, okay, and earthquakes in diverse places. So, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. That's what you're starting to see. You got the nation of Esau versus the nation of Israel. Okay, you recently, we got this whole article on the Times of Israel, whatever. Oh, the Hebrew Israelites are rising up, and should Jews be scared? They're setting it up, man. Nation against nation. Those are two different nations. Genesis, let's get that. Let's get that. Two manner of people. As the book of Genesis chapter 25 verse 22 says, the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And who is this? This is Rebekah, okay, the wife of Isaac. And this is when she had the twins in her womb, all right, Jacob and Esau. The same two that you see in the forefront, known as the so-called whites versus the so-called blacks, Jacob versus Esau, all right, the Hebrew Israelites versus the so-called Jays. All right, it's always had. Let's read where this all goes back to. This whole beef, so-called beef that you see, all right, which was ultimately going to end up in a clash, all right, between Yahushua and the elites of this world very soon, okay, and they will be defeated as is biblical prophecy, okay. Let's read verse 23, Genesis 25 verse 23. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. You hear that? Nations. Two nations. There were two brothers in her womb, two sons, two boys, two who became men, but they became two different men. And those two different men started two different nations. The nation of Esau, which is the Edomites, and the nation of Israel, which are the Israelites. Two different people. And who is the Lord coming down for? He's coming for his people, the Israelites, to deliver them from the hands of his enemy, the Edomites. It goes back and forth. Okay, let's read. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, Rebekah, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Two manner of people. We're not the same. We're not the same. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. What does it mean to be stronger? We're better than them in every aspect of the game we call life. Hands down. We beat them intellectually. We beat them physically, mentally, emotionally, and ultimately spiritually. Okay? Because we are the Most High's chosen people. You can tell from our women, you can tell from our food, you can tell from our culture, right? Even though Jake is at a very low level, they're going to rise up out of that. Even though Jake is at a very death-ridden level, they're going to rise up out of that. Okay? With this truth. All right? It's prophecies. Okay? It says what? It says, and one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Who came out first? Esau. And what happened? The younger was what? Jacob. Esau had the birthright. And Jacob what? Supplanted him and took that birthright. So ultimately, all the shit that you see in the World Economic Forum, all this shit is going back to this. They're trying to get back their birthright so that they can escape this prophecy of serving the younger. And that's going to happen, whether you like it or not, nigga. All right? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Isaac was 70. Okay? No. 20, 1, 2, 3. No, Isaac had to be 60. He had to be 60. All right, because the score is 20. Okay, so 20 times 3 will be what? 60. Okay, so let's see. What did I want to highlight? All right, so you notice how the scriptures identify what Esau looked like, but it doesn't say anything about the look of Jacob because Esau was distinct, all right, from everybody else. He looked different, just like he does today. Everybody else, for the most part on the earth, has some melanin to them, except for these people. These people, all right? These people. Okay? So, verse 27, Genesis 25, verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So he's a cunning hunter. So all these things we just read, all right, his goal is to pursue, okay, to hunt everybody down and put them in a certain corner by trapping them, okay, and then he can be able to rule over them, all right, put them in his technocracy, his beast system, okay. But he's a cunning hunter. So everything we just read about how when the trucks go down, what's going to affect, guess what? They built the system up this way so that they can deconstruct it when the time comes exactly how they're doing it. Very cunning, okay? Everything is strategic, all to fulfill that one prophecy of Revelation chapter 13, verses 16, 17, and 18, okay? So that's the times that we're in, and this is what this is all about. Everything that you see, everything that's going on around the world, all the transition that's happening, all the technological upgrades that's happening, everything that you see going on around the world is all leading to that MOTB. All right, that's the end goal of all this that's going on. All right, and that's the major prophecy where the hour of temptation, all right, will happen, and that's the only thing that you need to worry about. How do I make it past that stage? Because once you make it past that stage, you know you've received salvation, because only the Lord would deliver you from that type of situation. Okay, so our goal is to make it to the end, endure till the end, man. All right, endure, meaning we're gonna have to exercise immense amount of faith and patience. Okay, and there's gonna come a reward, great reward, and it starts with salvation of the elect. I'm gonna leave it off there, Lowell, and you be edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the Wadiyah Ba'ashem Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.